is 2026 to be 2026, not 2026, 2026 to be exact. It is the 5th of January 2026. Happy New Year from whatever it is that you're watching and Look Up TV from. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. Thank you very much for being a part and parcel of the morning drift this morning. There's so much that we're going to look at this morning. A lot is happening across the country in different spheres of the economy, politically, and that's exactly what it is that we're going to settle into this morning. So just before then we jump into what we have for you this morning, there are a couple of things that we have to weigh within ODM as we start our day this morning, because it looks the entire of 2025 had one conversation going on, the position of the SG, that is the Secretary General Edwin Sifuna. As it stands now, Sifuna has repeatedly made remarks that put him at odds with the party and the party leadership and allied politicians. Is exactly what he's been saying. He insists that major decisions affecting ODM's future must be referred to party structured and rank and file members, including strategy around alliances and elections. That's what Sifuna has been saying. Sifuna has also dismissed growing calls for his removal, stating that no individual or faction has the authority to oust him as a SG, and that internal divisions must be worked through formally. That's exactly what he said. And then if you look at what is publicly said, is argued that the broad-based government agreement with the President William Ruto's administration is effectively dead. That's what he said, due to unresolved issues related to government and citizen welfare. This is what he's saying. He's also reiterated that he would refuse to support a party endorsement of Ruto in 2027, saying publicly that if ODM backs Ruto, he would walk from the party. That's exactly what Sifuna has said in the entire of 2025, immediately after the demise of Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. Now, let's see what some of the reactions from within ODM have been. The reactions to Sifuna's outspoken stance are varied. If you look at internal critics such as ODM Youth League leader Kasmuel Makure, who's publicly declared that Sifuna days as Secretary General are numbered and called for his removal. In fact, this morning as we start, he's already done a public video saying that he is the interim SG of the party. All right, party figures like Inajisi as Opio have urged disciplinary action against the dissenters, including Sifuna as well. Some grassroots and media commentators have also accused Sifuna of being an agent of forces intending to weaken ODM ahead of the 2027 negotiations. Now, in contrast then, ODM leaders, including Kisii Governor Simba Arati, have defended him, saying his statements reflect genuine and party positions. Let me just get it right. Yes, that the SG speaks for ODM on key matters such as the opposition to Ruto. Now, if you look at what former party leader Odinga has been cited in past coverage, defending Sifuna's right to speak, saying ODM is a democratic party where leaders can express diverse views. This is exactly where we are then, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about this morning. Edwin Sifuna looks like a man who is under siege, but then from what point is he under siege? This morning we hold that conversation here with our guests who are going to walk into the studio. I'll be introducing them once, and when they walk in for this particular conversation, so that we get to the root cause of it this morning. You can also get involved and Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiage Simba online. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. You can get in touch, Kiage. Sorry, that didn't come out well. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. You can get in touch with us at Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. Our numbers are just right there on your screens this morning. The hashtag is The Morning Drift. As usual then, let's see exactly what it is that you're waking up to this morning in your dailies as we start 2025 on a high, and hopefully you're also starting it on a high as well. Well, there's just so much then. Let's jump into what the Daily Nation has for you this morning. There's just a lot that we're going to look at as well. Teachers' fee row as our schools reopen today, all the way up to Wednesday. We do know that schools are going to start reopening, and we do expect that there's going to be a lot of traffic on the roads this morning. So, you know, it's been 2.5 months of the kids not going to school, all the way from was it October mid, from around 20th, 19th October up to where we are right now. So you should know that for the next 3 months, traffic is going to be a lot on the roads. So get out of the house a bit early just to keep time. Somebody told me you add 1 hour. So if you used to be on the road by 7, so make sure that you're on the road by 6. Good. Let's see exactly what this is talking about. Schools resume this week for the 2026 academic calendar, with the disputes over fees, hiring of teachers and facility shortage, highlighting a turbulent start to a historic transition to senior school under the competency-based education. Principals cite inadequate funds to justify calls for fees increment, but officials have cautioned against extra levies, even as absorption of junior school interns is deferred. Good. You're going to read that story on page 4 and 5. And this is what CS for Education Julius Ogamba is saying this morning. School heads should desist from imposing any extra levies on or fees. As a ministry, we will deal firmly with any verified cases of misappropriation of resources and the imposition of extra levies or fee. That's the embargo right there. Top civil servants reap big in a $2 billion pay rise. That's another story here that you're going to meet this morning on the Daily Nation. And this is where we are. The minimum, that's according to job groups. The minimum for job group T is 185,690. The maximum is 396,130. All right, all the way to job group P, 94,000 as the minimum, 142,590 as the maximum. Goes all the way to job group C, as the minimum being 18,700, maximum being 21,700. Now, if you look at the leave allowances, we have 6,500. That is for job group C, which is the least in that grading, and the maximum is job group T with a leave allowance of 35,000 shillings. Now, government workers have secured a new year's gift of a salary increment that will see the highest paid officials pocket an extra 30,250 shillings, while the lowest paid of officers, the majority, will receive an additional 780 shillings monthly. That story has been covered on page 8 of the Daily Nation. Let's see page 2 here. You're going to read the story of faith healing scandal. Doctors watchdog cautions gullible public. Dr. War, no, the priest, is pictured right here on this story. Doctors are saying the man of God does not heal. Yeah. And this is what they're cautioning them against, faith healing scandal. So maombi ya Mungu ni kama hayafanyi miujiza, according to the doctors. And they're telling you, please be cautious, because you have to come to us for treatment, not Pastor War. What heals? Is it the medicine or the prayers? I don't know. Should you receive the medicine before the prayers, or should we receive the prayers before the medicine? That's how it is. Good. On page 6, we're going to read about Uhuru still starring 2027 factional feuds, page 6, and Maduro capture, how Trump is reshaping the world order. That story has been covered on page 14 of the Daily Nation. Let's cross over then and look at the Standard as well this morning, see what we have. They're asking the question, who's next? And there's a story on the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, now facing criminal charges in the New York court, and has come a few days after the U.S., again, on President Donald Trump's orders, launched strikes in northern Nigeria following his claim that ISIS were killing Christians and that had to be stopped. The two unrelated events happening miles and days apart carry chilling messages to the African continent. That's exactly what they're saying, that Trump is not short of extreme measures. On several occasions, Trump has alluded to this through his snide remarks on some African states. That story has been covered on page 6, 7, and 8 of the Standard, and they're asking who's next. I would read some of the comments here from our top leaders across the country upon this reaction then from Donald Trump. This is what the UK Prime Minister is saying: we shed no tears for the end of the Maduro regime. That is a UK Prime Minister, that is Stammer, sorry. And this is a Chinese government. We are deeply shocked and strongly condemn the use of force against a sovereign country and its president. Of course, China will not be standing with the U.S. on this one. And this is what the Russian government is saying: U.S. has committed an act of armed aggression. That is Putin who's speaking. And Brazilian president, that is Da Silva, was saying this morning that the action has crossed an acceptable line, attacking countries in a flagrant violation of international law is the first step toward a world of violence, chaos, and instability. That is President Da Silva, Brazilian president. Pictures right there of Maduro in the U.S. saying he was abducted, you know. And the U.S. also put that radar on Nigeria as well, which has prompted the Standard to ask who's next. It's a question that really has to be properly answered by all the parties concerned. That's exactly how your dailies look this morning. Majority of these stories are also trending online and Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. You can also get in touch with us also on those platforms. The only thing that we ask is once you're there, a like, a subscription, you know, is a follow is the only thing that we can ask for as a Look Up TV this morning. On that note then, just before we take a tiny breather and jump into our conversation this morning, let's get into what you're waking up to this morning in terms of your trends. A lot has been trending, but we pick for you what has been trending this morning. Yes, we're not going to look at, by the way, some fans in Sudan have Arsenal fans. But then I mean by that, Arsenal fans, they've jumped to the street and have done a very nice match, you know, making the world ready for this year when Arsenal is going to clinch the Champions League, the Premier League, and the FA Cup. And in fact, we might win them all. Thinking about it, I'll show you that tomorrow. Since I want to start the new year on a good note with the rest of the fans, you know, all of them are bottlers. Chelsea bottling it, Man United bottling it, Man City bottling it. We're not going to talk about that. We talk about that tomorrow. I'll be showing you the clips of that match. It's a fantastic match from Southern Sudan. Hopefully, Arsenal. Next place will be Southern Sudan that you visit, isn't it? That was a long match. On that note then, let's start with your trending issues this morning. And the first one is a member of parliament who found herself in hot soup, isn't it? When she went and chanted two-term in an event that did not support the two-term chant. I'll be telling you her name. Let's watch this clip, come back and talk about it.
Nyinyi unaonekana mshafika Singapore. Na mimi kama Mudhoni mshafika Singapore nyinyi. Mimi kama Muthoni, mimi nawaambia mimi sio wa one term, mimi ni wa two term kwa sababu mimi Muthoni ni wa two term. Na ni wa two term. Dakika.
So here's the thing, just a couple of comments from this one, because at the end of the day, there's just a lot that you got to put into proper perspective. And you unaambiwa, wezi yala kwa, I invite you, na kuinvite nyumbani kwetu, and then unakuja unasema, hii chakula yenyu ni mbaya, ukikula hiyo chakula. Sitakufukuza tu bwana. Even a microphone was completely turned off. You might think we lost sound, but we didn't lose sound. They just turned off a microphone and threw her out of the venue completely until you're not going to be. In fact, that clip continues because this is Lamu woman representative Muthoni Marubu. Yeah, she was completely thrown out and escorted out. In fact, she was escorted. This clip continues. I'll be showing those pictures tomorrow because that's when we got to talk. That's when we get to talk about this. She was escorted all the way to her vehicle, you know, and then whisked off from that ceremony. Just quick reactions from this. We have Nelson Harvey, who's saying that I was present in Murang'a County when the Lamu women representative Muthoni Marubu, with a profound lack of emotional intelligence, started chanting tutam in an otherwise calm funeral. The crowd charged at her. The security intervened and took her away to a safe house. What she did was stupid. It was actually. It was. You don't do that. All right. Moses Kuria saying this morning, dear Kenyans, I'm a Kikuyu. Rigathi Gachagua is a Kikuyu and non-Kikuyu. Voting for a team where Rigathi Gachagua is a member of needs to have their heads checked. Have this evening called Babu Wino and passed this message to him. It's so much from here. This is it. I've just left. This is Moses Kuria again saying he had gone to condole with James Kakuya as they laid the mom to rest. That he left and then he realized there was a plot for violence just from this. I don't think that was a plot for violence because they were just reacting to whatever she had said. That's it. All right. Let's then look at the next issue that we want to wake up to this morning. It's touching on the ODM field that we currently have across the country. Let's take a look at this sentiments from one Edwin Sifuna and then come back and see what Kenyans are talking about them as well.
Uhuru Kenyatta sawa sawa. Mimi najua kama katibu mkuu pesa nyingi ambaye tulifanyia campaign ilikuwa inatoka kwa Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta. Alitusupport kihali na mali, ni ukweli. Lakini sasa si saa hii kuna mshenzi mmoja ametambua kwamba kuna ubaya ya pesa ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Nataka niulize Junet. Wewe Junet, pesa ya Uhuru ilianza kuwa mbaya siku gani? Siku ile ulikuwa unachukua hiyo pesa na hata yote hukuleta kwa chama. Ingine ulikula peke yako na mabibi yako. Siku ile tutaanza audit ya uchaguzi wa mwaka 2022. Ni vizuri umeanzisha hiyo debate, kila mtu aseme ile kazi alifanya 2022. Wewe ulikuwa unakula pesa ya Uhuru, badala ulipe agents, ukaacha hawa kina Wamunyoro wakatupiga 10-0. Saa hii tunalia huko nje. Kama sio wewe Junet, tungekuwa kwa serikali. So mimi huwezi nitisha bwana. hawezi kunitisha. Wanasema Nairobi, ukipata sponsor mpya usianze kutukana ule alikutoa kwa bed sitter. So mimi nataka nikamilie hapo, niwaambie Mheshimiwa Gachagua, hakuna mtu ambaye ana uwezo ya kunifukuza ndani ya chama cha ODM. Wewe tulia tu. Sisi Waluya tunasema mkienda kuwinda mnyama ambaye amekuwa akikula kondoo, anakula kuku yako, amuendi wote kwa laini moja namna hii. Sijui kama mnanielewa. Mnanielewa? Wewe ingilia hii pande, akifikiria ni wewe, anasikia amepigwa mshale ya kifua. Anasikia mwingine amemshika shingo, mwingine amemshika mguu, kidogo kidogo fisi wapi? Chini. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka mkae ngangari. Sisi ndani ya ODM tunaamini kile kitu baba alituambia. Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta alitusupport kihali na mali, ni ukweli. Lakini sasa si saa hii kuna mshenzi mmoja ametambua kwamba kuna ubaya ya pesa ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Nataka niulize Junet, wewe Junet, pesa ya Uhuru ilianza kuwa mbaya siku gani? Siku ile ulikuwa unachukua hiyo pesa na hata yote hukuleta kwa chama, ingine ulikula peke yako na mabibi yako. Siku ile tutaanza audit ya uchaguzi wa mwaka 2022. Ni vizuri umeanzisha hiyo debate, kila mtu aseme ile kazi alifanya 2022. Wewe ulikuwa unakula pesa ya Uhuru, badala ulipe agents, ukaacha hawa kina Wamunyoro wakatupiga 10-0. Saa hii tunalia huko nje. Kama sio wewe Junet, tungekuwa kwa serikali. So mimi huwezi nitisha bwana, hawezi kunitisha. Wanasema Nairobi, ukipata sponsor mpya usianze kutukana ule alikutoa kwa bed sitter. So mimi nataka nikamilie hapo, niwaambie Mheshimiwa Gachagua, hakuna mtu ambaye ana uwezo ya kunifukuza ndani ya chama cha ODM. Wewe tulia tu. Sisi Waluya tunasema mkienda kuwinda mnyama ambaye amekuwa akikula kondoo, anakula kuku yako, amuendi wote kwa laini moja namna hii. Sijui kama mnanielewa. Mnanielewa? Wewe ingilia hii pande, akifikiria ni wewe, anasikia amepigwa mshale ya kifua. Anasikia mwingine amemshika shingo, mwingine amemshika mguu, kidogo kidogo fisi wapi? Chini. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka mkae ngangari. Sisi ndani ya ODM tunaamini kile kitu baba alitu.
This is what Setabao Ole Kanchuri is saying this morning. The truth about the 2022 Azimio presidential fiasco is well documented. I took the trouble to write a whole book about it with no one, not even Raila Odinga, ever contradicted. Junet should be the last person to be the talk of 2022 election or to attack Uhuru Kenyatta. Wewe Junet, nyamaza kabisa, shenzi sana. His remarks. Let me see what Cornelius Vono is saying this morning. Those who misled Edwin Sifuna are the same people who lied to Boni Khalwale. Wait until Sifuna loses the Senate Deputy Minority Whip and ODM Secretary General positions next week. You will know that politicians are nothing other than nothing without titles. Lastly then, Rain was saying, but let's be honest, Rao had the topmost and access to intel dating decades back. You think all those years he would not have smoked out Sifuna or sensed Uhuru Kenyatta was bound to betray him? Junet should remember that there is a very valid reason why Rao kept Sifuna very close and oftentimes defended him publicly. So that's why it has come to then. I mean, the guys looking back at how the 2022 general elections was conducted, and Junet again is the talk of that conversation. Now huyo ndio Sifuna anaita kuna mshenzi fulani mali fulani. That's exactly how it is. Let's look at our last trending issue this morning and then come back and talk about it as well.
Kubaliana na mimi ama mimi nikubaliane na wewe, lakini nitakuwa nimekupatia heshima ya kusikiza wewe na niweze kujua vipi itakavyokwenda, na wewe unipatie heshima ya kunisikiza hata mimi pia. Hapa tulipo kwa hii kanisa tuna watoto. Mzazi yoyote atakwambia nguo ya jana huwezi kumvalisha mtoto yule yule mwaka ujao. Kwa wale wenye kuwa na kujua mambo ya samaki, kule eneo ya Kisumu na maeneo mengine yale yako na fish pond. Kama fish pond yako ni kiwango hiki, samaki hawezi kukua zaidi. Bahari kila ikiwa kubwa, unapata samaki sasa wanazidi kuwa wakubwa, sio? Hatuwezi kusema chama chetu tunataka kiweze kwenda mbele kama tunataka kukaa pale pale tulipo. Hasa mimi maoni yangu kama deputy party leader, na unajua inaitisha mkutano wa Central Committee, ninaomba party leader wetu Dr. Nguru aitishe mkutano wa haraka. Mimi nawaambia katika maoni ambayo kwamba yaliyopo, hatuwezi kukaa katika hii ndoa ambayo kwamba ni ya nusu-nusu. Ama ni kuongea na rais, tunaongea na rais, tunamjua 2027 tunaenda namna gani kwa sababu ya watu wetu. Na wao wengine kama wako na maoni mengine, ni sawa watoe maoni yao. Haina haja ya matusi. Nimesikia juzi inaambiwa sijui nani alikula pesa. Sasa mimi nimeona ripoti ya Auditor General katika chama cha kisiasa ambacho kwamba kimefanywa audit na Auditor General ni chama cha ODM, na tumeambiwa hakuna pesa ya Bogomba imeibiwa. Sasa sijui hii ya juu imeibiwa kwa siasa ya chuki, siasa ya ukabila, siasa ya matusi, siasa ile ambayo kwamba watu hawana mwelekeo. People instead of talking with each other, they're talking at each other. That is not the politics we want in this country. Mimi niko na maoni yangu na ninasema wazi ya kwa iwe itakapokuwa at the last elections we did not win those elections. Hata kama tunasema tulishinda, lakini kulifanywa fifijange. Sasa hebu jaribu kufikiria, at that time tulikuwa na support ya serikali. Sasa hivi tukisema tunaenda hivi na baba hayuko, mwambia nini ukweli, si ndio? Lakini sasa vile pastor hapa ameongea, hata mimi nikasema hii ndio via Mokomba nitaitumia. Aliongea na kasema mwisho wa jambo ni bora kuliko mwanzo wake. Ni bora tujipange sasa kwa sababu ya mwaka 2032. Katika mwaka mmoja, kama kuna mtu katika chama atasema kwa tajitokeza, tuanze kujiuliza, je, anajulikana kule Kapenguria, anajulikana Turkana, anauzika Lamu, anauzika kwingine kama vile baba alivyokuwa, sio? We need to start prepping ourselves. Na mimi kama maoni yangu nimesema ya kwa it is high time tuongee na William Samoei Ruto, tuangalie jinsi ya kuweza kuiendesha hii nchi mbele. Wengine akiona maoni yake apewe maoni yake. Bora usinipeleke kwa watu ambao kwamba watakuwa ni makabila. Mtu ambaye kwamba atasema huyu anafaa zaidi kuliko huyu mwingine hafai zaidi. Hapo tutakuwa hatujaelewana. Ile watu wa shares hapo kidogo itabidi tuambiane waziwazi. We will not understand each other there. Lakini kama you are going to give me another option, I will listen to you and you listen to me. Then let our reasoning, lakini sio matusi. Hata si huyu aliipa, huyu aite huyu hivi, huyu aite huyu hivi. We're not going to go anywhere. At the end of the day, whether we like it or not, Kenya will have an election in 2027. but we will be remembered by what decision we took as a party to prepare ourselves hapo chini vile tutakapokuwa, sababu nyinyi ndio hapo kwamba ni watu wetu, na tukienda kwa hisia bila kuangalia ile hali vile itakapokuwa, our watoto have futures in this country, na tuwezi kubali chama iweze kufa kwa sababu mtu mmoja wawili waliamua. Na tunajua, we know that there are plans of some people to try and divide. Tunajua kitambo hiyo plan, na ukweli unaanza kudhihirika sasa. Sio ukweli unaanza kudhihirika. Kuna watu dunia yao walikuwa wanaona yako hii chama wanaweza kuigawanya, but I want to tell you, hii chama iko katika pwani, hii chama iko western, hii chama iko katika eneo ya Masai, hii chama iko katika GC, iko katika Luo, Nyanza, Nairobi. We cannot have vita za mtu mmoja wawili, wale watu wawili, mmoja ambaye kwamba anaona wengine. The party in the country is larger than any individual. Si sawa namna hiyo?
Of still on those ODM issues this morning. That is Abdul Samad right there. Let's just see a couple of comments or reactions to that. We've seen Daima saying many used Raila's name to pass gates they were not supposed to, and they have not forgotten his clarion call for social justice. What goes around comes around. All right, NDC is the final answer. CMC cannot solve anything right now, and those are the calls that we saw even from last year when some party officials said we need to have a national delegates conference where we would elect new party officials within ODM. All right, we continue with some of your reaction this morning. Kindly tell him to also write a statement on when he's planning to make Mombasa city clean. All right, Sam Kahuro was saying he should have called for NDC to elect new officials. CMC emergency meeting is well planned, scripted and executed by Ruto, who has already bought the Orange Party. As that's the sentiments of one Sam Kahuro this morning. Finally then, on this one, we do have Dev Onyango, who's saying like he doesn't know who is the chief planner and the chief beneficiary of dismantling of ODM. Maybe gullible ODM members do not know. That's exactly where our conversation is essentially going to center around the issues that are going on within ODM. But maybe just before we go for that break, we do know that Makore has been speaking as well. I beg that we have a look at exactly what he's saying this morning, just for 2 or 3 minutes or so, then come back and go for that break before we jump into that conversation. Let's listen to him and then see exactly what he's saying.
Mr. Edwin Sifuna must be reminded in no uncertain terms that it is he who needs the Orange Democratic Movement and not the other way round. That his exit will not be a big blow as his hype men try to deceive him. It will only be but a mere tickle. Mr. Sifuna must be reminded unequivocally that he has always been an affirmative action candidate. He could not afford to be elected as Secretary General. He was handpicked by the party. And his senatorial bid in 2022 was no different. He even admitted publicly that kuna mtu alifanyiwa ile kitu so that he could get that slot. Mr. Edwin Sifuna will not focus on the plight of Nairobians. Instead, he chooses to incite and insult members of parliament from our party, going as far as calling them Washenzi. Now, as a spokesperson of the party, he must produce a record where they agreed that that is how top organs of the party will refer to each other. He has done this not once but twice in the recent past within the space of a week. Mr. Sifuna must be reminded that he will and must toe the party line as long as he is spending shillings from Chungwa House. He is employed not to give us his personal opinions masquerading as political truth from the Orange Democratic Movement. Regarding presidential elections and coalition building, instructions, directions, and insights about that subject only flow from one office in the party, the office of the party leader, Senator Dr. Buru Oginga, whom Mr. Sifuna and his cronies, including the deputy party leader, have decided to paint as a transitional stopgap leader. Mr. Sifuna, your dalliance and philandering with our political detractors is okay because we live in a democratic country, but you cannot dictate how we're supposed to feel about your betrayal for our party's ideals. you have consistently sabotaged party organs, and now brazenly, out of a few coins that you're getting from our biggest detractors, grown the kahunas to think that you will speak to us in a belittling manner. He has gone as far as saying and disparaging members, saying that they come from small communities. We want to remind you that if you want to play the tribal card, your own people rejected you. Not even your member of county assemblies from our party. Here in Nairobi, you could not even help us win a simple MCA seat. Nairobians died in South Sea today, but you chose to insult Honorable Junet Mohammed and call him a mshenzi. You couldn't even raise that plight. You oversight everything but for the people of Nairobi County, and your mandarins will come down in the comment section trying to defend you. I assure you that as Secretary General, your days are numbered. And while party organs are not interested in kicking you out, we as the young people, I as Kasbo Makore, the founder and convener of the Broad-Based Youth Front and a delegate in the Orange Democratic Movement, I'm issuing a 30-day ultimatum to the top party leadership that they must institute disciplinary action against you, that you must face the disciplinary committee and tell us why you insist on sabotaging the party. Mr. Sifuna, if you want to serve Mr. Uhuru, you're free to do so. If you want to partner with Mr. Rigathi Gachagua, you're free to do so. But do not masquerade those as the opinions of the party. Do not sabotage our political future, the Orange Democratic Movement, the heritage that Baba gave us. You will not come in the way of us and our future. You are not greater than Ababu Namwamba, whom in the most comical way you ejected out of office. Your days are numbered. You must change, or you will face the music. Be it as it may, we will be there. Our conditions remain. You must respect the party leader. You must respect the members of the Orange Democratic Movement. And if you want to leave, like I said before, it will not be a big blow to the party. It will be.
All right. That is Kasmal Makore then also submitting his sentiments on what he thinks about the ongoing ODM Sifuna saga. I mean, from what he's presenting, it is giving us a lot in terms of what has been going on within the party and as regards as ODM and Edwin Sifuna is concerned, talking about how Sifuna has never even helped them to win any MCA seat within Nairobi, how he's not working for the Nairobi residents, he's not oversighting what's going on within the Nairobi County, and he's saying they're giving him 30 days that he has to face a disciplinary action. Question is, what has Sifuna done? Because he's also saying, I've done nothing. I'm speaking for the party. It is the SG then against some members within the ODM party. And from what Kasmal Makure is saying, that they feel like he's working for Uhuru Kenyatta. Also opening another Pandora box on what we have to talk about, the relationship between Uhuru Kenyatta and the ODM party as well. So that's where we find ourselves this morning. Let me just read a couple of sentiments. Kenya's reacting to what Kasmal Makore is saying this morning. Kindly tell him to also write a statement on when he's planning to make Mombasa. No, not on this one again. Looks like I'm picking the wrong comments. Here we go then. This is Shift who's saying this is the death of ODM. All right. Continuing to talk about this. Kasmal behaves like a lady who borrows money to do a BBL, then start dissing others without a natural, blessing. That is Stephen Kiprono, all right? So this is, Kiprono also keeps on to saying, Sifuna should be a man and resign. You can't purport to lead a party you insult its senior members as washinzi in a public. That's not the posture of a party SG. He should resign and chart his own political path. ODM has given him enough. That is according to Kiprona this morning. All right. This is Ron who's saying, nothing great in this life is given. You have to take it. I don't co-sign his war with Sifuna, but you gotta see the long game in all this. Boy is showing he can be SG. You think so? All right. Finally then, let's read this one from Ibrahim Lusimba this morning was saying, someone fooled this one that it was the next Tom Mboya. it is sad that he bought the lie, or maybe he thinks he's right, but I'm sure he's already barring his career in politics before it bursts. Ama wacha atafute kazi, afadhali kebasobo. That's exactly where we find ourselves this morning in as regards the conversation about ODM and the position that the party SG currently finds himself in. What do you think? Do you think that Edwin Sifuna should face disciplinary action? And do you think that he's moving like a man who's about to lose that position of SG? That's exactly what we talk about once we come back from this break. You can also be a part and parcel of this conversation this morning and Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. I am Elijah Charles Kianga Simba. Take a tiny breather. I'll see you on the other side of this break.
Taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Look Up, kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
Maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.
Hakuna kitu tunafurahia. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sisi tunaumia, si ati tunaumia ile ya kiukweli. Juu maisha ni ngumu.
Na bila shaka tunapata maoni yao ili sauti yao ipate kusikika. Na watasema hili, waseme lile, watasema hiki na waseme kile, almuradi sauti yao ipate taa.
Mambo ya mafuta tena imekuwa ni changamoto zaidi kwa kila mtu, kwa bodaboda.
Uchumi ikikuwa stable, tunaamini mambo itakuwa sawa sawa.
Kwanza liko na ria wasa wa boda, mama mboga nini. Hawa sasa ndio wamefinywa zaidi man.
Mtazamaji, hii ni bunge la wenyeji.
How easy is it for you to forgive someone who has hurt you? How easy is it? What are some tips, a person can apply to improve their public speaking skills?
We all have personality lazy somewhere around us.
In my mind, whenever I'm invited for a public speaking event, I don't like to put a lot of, accessories or too many colors.
What are the major things to look out when choosing a school for a child?
Another cheesy conversation starter is, men do this a lot. They look familiar. Have we met before?
No. We met it. Nobody is buying that line again.
No, we don't. We don't buy it anymore.
I recall the doctor telling me that day, he said, Sarah, I'm sorry about what happened to you, but you see, life happens. You would have to learn to work with your hands, depend on your hands more.
And today, if you're going through anything that you do not understand, just call on this name, Jesus, and he will save you.
I realized I loved music when I was about 7 or 8. I used to puff my cheeks and play the 12-bar blues. Like I'd walk around the house doing like...
Why do we need the Holy Spirit?
I mean, if you look at what Jesus said when he was leaving, he said he is going and that he will send the Holy Spirit as our helper.
So God knows everything since the end, from the beginning, has a plan for your life. So to find that plan for your life, you must find God. When you find God, you will know the path for your life.
Do you need a dose of hope? If so, you are in the right place. We think of ourselves around here as hope dealers, delivering truth, power, and inspiration to hearts and minds all over the world. If nothing else has worked for you, why not give the God thing a try? for it's in the presence of God that you'll find everything that you need. Amen.
Taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Lookup, kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
Maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.
Hakuna kitu tunafurahia. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sisi tunaumia, si ati tunaumia ile ya kiukweli. Juu maisha ni ngumu.
Na bila shaka tunapata maoni yao ili sauti yao ipate kusikika. Na watasema hili, waseme lile, watasema hiki, na waseme kile, almuradi sauti yao ipate taa.
Mambo ya mafuta tena imekuwa ni changamoto zaidi kwa kila mtu wa bodaboda.
Uchumi ikikuwa stable, tunaamini mambo itakuwa sawa sawa.
Kwanza liko na ria wa boda, mama mboga nini. Hao sasa ndio wamefinywa zaidi man.
Mtazamaji, hii ni bunge la wenyeji.
Save a Life is a non-profit organization that has taken the front line in transforming lives in the entire country. So far, we have transformed life of over 100,000 people through our programs, which include medical support, youth empowerment, street family program, feeding program, and climate change. Join us today as we transform lives. As we always say, service to humanity is service to God. Save a life, transforming lives.
All right. Welcome back to Lookup TV. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiaga. This morning, we are just looking at what is going around ODM and the politics around that particular party. Sifuna has been a man who's been hitting back. He's not resting. In fact, he has continued to say that he is going nowhere, despite the calls then from some party officials who are calling for his ouster and all disciplinary within the next 30 days. Now, let's keep on listening to this man, Sifuna, because he is not resting. He's still at that onslaught of some party officials. In fact, the man that was alluding to in that earlier clip that we played for you, when he said, kuna mshenzi mwingine, that man has finally come out as one Junet Mohammed. All right? Now, let's listen to the next part of what Sifuna says and then come back and see exactly what Kenyans are talking about it.
Any person can build a road. Anybody can build a house. Dictators build roads, dictators build houses. It takes a true patriot with values to build a nation. What we are trying to build is a nation. I'm telling you. Mtu ambaye anaheshimu demokrasia bado anaweza kujenga barabara. Mtu ambaye haui vijana bado anaweza kujenga barabara. Kwa nini mna insist huyu mtu ambaye anaua watu aendelee? Mimi najua Kenya hii, it cannot afford another 5 years of William Ruto. It cannot afford another year of William Ruto. Na nataka nimalizie kwa kusema, kwa sababu umesikia watu wakisema hapa Sifuna anaelekezewa maneno. Hii vita yote unasikia nikipigwa ndani ya chama cha ODM ni kwa sababu moja tu. Nimesema Ruto one term. Na nina sababu. Mimi najua siasa ni ushawishi. Mheshimiwa Rigathi, unajua nimekuja hapa, nimesikia nyinyi mkiongea, nilikuwa nacheka tu hapo nikiwa nimekaa kwa sababu unisamee tu, lakini lazima niseme hii. 2022 tulikuja hapa kwa hao watu wa Mlima. Tukajaribu kuwaingiza box wa. Tukaambia hao watu baba akiingia masomo ni bure kutokea chini mpaka juu. Tukasema matibabu itakuwa bure kutoka chini mpaka juu. Tukasema tutawadunga 6,000 kila mwezi. Mazee mlikuwa mnatuangalia tu. Unatuangalia tu. Alafu Ule jamaa mwingine sijui nani alikuwa amemfunza Kikuyu. Hako tu mwadhani ya gosho. Akiingia hapa bana nyie watu mnasema huyo ndio tunataka. Sasa saa hii nasikia vile mnaongea. Naona mambo si mbaya. Mambo si mbaya. Lakini lazima nitoe shukrani. Unajua watu wengi wamesahau Mlima Kenya hii kwa mara ya kwanza Baba Raila Amolo Odinga alizoa kura zaidi ya milioni 1. Na ndio maana mliona nikipigia Uhuru Kenyatta asante. Kwa sababu alitusaidia. Mlituzukuma lakini alitusaidia. Wengine walikula pesa ya Uhuru Kenyatta sawa sawa. Mimi najua kama katibu mkuu pesa nyingi ambaye tulifanyia campaign ilikuwa inatoka kwa Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta. Alitusupport kihali na mali, ni ukweli. Lakini sasa si saa hii kuna mshenzi mmoja. Mshenzi mmoja.
And that's exactly what Sifuna has been speaking about. That the only reason as to why he feels is being fought is because he's declared that it doesn't support one Dr. William Ruto. And he feels like this is the only reason as to why it's being fought currently as it is. So let me just go directly to some of the reactions again from Kenyans. So in this context, this is what Maxwell Mbaye is saying this morning. Sifuna will just yap and yap for the rest of his political career, just like his fellow Luya politicians. Saying that look at Musalia, Khalwale, Weta, Wamalwa, Salasia, etc. Just talking and talking with no achievements. Well, that's your sentiments this morning. Never proposed anything constructive or provided any solution whatsoever. That is Max Alma this morning. Dr. Dismas Ombuya was saying this morning, ukweli usemwe, after Junet amekula pesa za agents, they disappeared together with Joho to go hide the money. Sifuna wakabaki na baba na Kioni wakabeba masufuria na kukula tear gas. Right now, even mentally ill individuals cannot support one Junet Mohammed. That's exactly what it is. They're talking about here this morning. This is going to be African. Those who misled Edwin Sifuna are the same people lied to Boni Khalwale. All right? Otieno Okando saying, Sifuna is bitter. I can feel this from his voice. That's exactly what is saying this morning. We also have Ndomolo Yasolo, who's saying, we all know that Edwin Sifuna campaigned across all Nairobi wards for the ODM party senatorial ticket, always putting the people first over party politics. His work in Nairobi is evident, and his impressive track record makes him a strong candidate for a higher seat. That is what he's talking about this morning. Finally then, Florence Nyawalo, who's saying, I've always known Sifuna as a wise man, but here the wisdom went to sleep, the same way Musalia Mudavadi missed being the president of this country. Well, again, it's not just Sifuna who's been speaking on this issue, because we have one man, Rigathi Gachagua, who's also been speaking on the issues around ODM and what ODM needs to do then just to realign themselves for the 2027 party politics and also for the 2027 presidential race. He's been speaking this weekend, and we also have his submission this morning. I want us to look at what Rigathi Gachagua has spoken this weekend and also come back and see exactly what Kenyans are reacting, because he's a man who's also been weighing into some of these issues that are happening within ODM. In fact, I've been informed they're getting that clip ready. Also, on other trending issues this morning, as we wait for the clip for Rigathi Gachagua to be ready, Ruto has been speaking as well heavily on the issues of drug and drug abuse in the country. Now, the president, he said, is going to talk to Parliament to change the law in this country so that any other person who is found selling drugs in Kenya, you are going to be hanged, according to the president. I would like us to watch this clip that majority of Kenyans are talking about as well from this weekend. Come back and then see your reaction to it as well. Let's take a look.
Wao wanauza pombe haramu, tunabadilisha sheria. assets ya hii watu. Hii magari wanatumia kubeba pombe left, right and center. Ukishikwa unabeba pombe haramu, hiyo gari inakuwa ya serikali. Assets ya hiyo watu inapotea. Jambo la pili, watu wa kuuza madawa ya kulevya, heroin, cocaine. Mtu anauza cocaine, mtu anauza heroin. Watoto wetu wamekwisha. Na mwenye anauza yeye mwenyewe hatumii, watoto yake hawatumii, lakini anauzia watoto ya watu wengine. Tunabadilisha sheria. Ilikuwa inasemekana kwa sheria ya zamani ati mtu kama huyo apigwe faini ya $1,000,000. Sasa tunabadilisha, mtu kama huyo inakuwa capital punishment. Mtu kama huyo anaenda kunyongwa. Mtu ambaye anauza heroin, mtu anauza heroin, mtu anauza cocaine, ukipatikana unauza, sikiza saa hii, nyinyi wabunge mjipange, tunaleta sheria bunge. Haiwezekani. Watoto wengi wamepotea. Sijui kama tunaelewana jameni. Yes. 5 million people in Kenya is far too many. We cannot continue na hiyo barabara. Waziri nishamwambia Attorney General, watu wanakada hiyo group yote, sheria, regulations, pia tunatengeneza regulations ya gambling. Hii karata hii watu wanahangaika, mtu anafanya kazi usiku jioni anaenda ana gamble pesa, watoto wanalala njaa, mama analala njaa, kila mtu analala njaa. Hiyo gambling tuweke regulation. Haiwezi kuwa inaendelea kila mahali. So many people are in depression kwa sababu ya kamari na mambo ingine ambayo we cannot continue like that as a nation. Na nyinyi mnajua nikishasema nimesema. I am ready to deal with the consequences. Sindio? Yes. We need to have a country of order. So many families, so many parents are going through hell because of drugs, because of cocaine, because of abuse of alcohol. And as a society led by government, we must stand up and say no to drugs together. Kwa hivyo, in the coming days, mutaona vile tutafanya. Mnafikiri kama huyu Brian na huyu mrembo Sandra, kama wangekuwa ni watu ya hiyo maneno, tungekuwa hapa saa hii?
That's exactly what the president said this weekend as regards the sale of drugs in the country. And if you listen to him, he's very specific on a couple, kwa watu wanauza cocaine na heroin. Gari yako ikipatikana inakuwa serikali na wewe unashukuna nyongwa. All right? Let's see then what Kenyans said about this one. The first person to speak about it was one Rigathi Gachagua, who saying, William Ruto, if you are serious about the issue of fighting drug abuse, first sack the 2 drug barons who sit in your cabinet. All right? This was a quick response to him yesterday. That was one Rigathi Gachagua. Then let's continue with what Kenyans are talking about this particular one as well. Let me just see. President William Ruto proposing a law for those found with drugs to be hanged, shouldn't be taken lightly. What if he uses it against his political opponents who were the radio house, plant drugs on you, and you get hanged? Don't you think, in terms of fighting drugs, you should fight it differently? All right? Njue saying, I heard Ruto saying that he has now decided to fight drug abuse in Kenya. William Ruto, if you're serious, start by sacking those drug barons in your cabinet. That's what majority of Kenyans are also telling him this morning. This is where we will be. Kipkalia Connors was saying, will he still have a cabinet? 1. Will there be parliament? 2. Indeed, how will parliament pass a law that will hang a large number of its members? Will he hang all those people pending on the hanging list since Ochuka in 1983 before he reaches the powerful latter day Narcos? Finally then, let me just see one final response, actually 2 final responses. Dr. Jumo is saying this when he has 2 US sanctions drug barons in his cabinet. Whatever the president smokes is not good. Literally turning it around. We always say smoke is a drug. You gotta be careful on this one. All right, finally this one on the president. But on corruption, that's where he draws the line. All right? That's exactly what Kenyans are talking about this one. Now let's go back to the earlier clip that I told you about on Rigathi Gachagua weighing in on a lot of issues, touching on the issues going on in the party politics of ODM and the state of politics in the country as well. Let's take a look at it. Come back, because after that, there's also one for Farouk Kibet, who's also weighing on that issue that Gachagua is talking about. So once we have it ready, then we come back and talk about it as well. Let's first start with one Rigathi Gachagua addressing issues around party politics in the country.
Nataka niambie watu ya ODM, Uhuru Kenyatta ni mtoto wetu, ni kiongozi wetu. Mwachane na yeye kumtukana. Alijaribu kusaidia nyinyi mpate uongozi, mkashindwa kupiga kura. You cannot blame Uhuru Kenyatta. Nimeona mpaka hii kijana anaitwa bibi ya Ruto, huyu wa Kikuyu, ameita watu hapo kwake, anasomea Uhuru Kenyatta, trying to belittle our leader President Uhuru Kenyatta, telling Uhuru Kenyatta, oh, heal and move on. Let me tell you, wewe bibi ya Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta did not lose any contest to William Ruto. Uhuru Kenyatta just made one mistake. He decided to be decent, to be a decent leader, and hesitated to tell us kinagaubaga William Ruto ni nani. He was just speaking in parables that Ruto is not good for this country, but he never gave us details. If he gave us details, the ones I give the people of Kenya now, hakuna mtu ya Mlima Kenya angepigia Ruto kura. Kweli ama uongo? So don't say you defeated Uhuru Kenyatta. You are beneficiaries of his decency. He was just decent. He didn't want to go too much inside. Lakini kama mimi Uhuru Kenyatta alikuwa ameniambia mambo ya Ruto ile mimi najua, mimi ningeambia nyinyi hatungechagua huyo Ruto. So wewe kijana bibi ya Ruto, wapana belito our president Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta hapana rika yako, wewe ni kijana mdogo. Respect our fourth president and our leader here in the mountain. Na mimi niko na jukumu, hakuna mtu nitakubali amharibie Uhuru Kenyatta sifa yake. I will not allow it. I have a responsibility. Uhuru is retired, apumzike, but tunataka aheshimiwe. Amekuachia nchi, ulikuwa unatuambia Uhuru ni mlevi ndio ameharibu Kenya. Amekuachia mwaka 3 umeharibu. Sasa unatafuta watoto wadogo watukane Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Give Uhuru Kenyatta a break. And Uhuru Kenyatta has a right, constitutional right, to associate with whoever he wants because he's a Kenyan. So I don't want to see our young people here wanatumiwa na Ruto kutukana Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Na wewe Ruto, kama wewe ni mwanaume kamili, kuliko kutuma hawa watoto, huyo bibi yako na hao wengine, si wewe utukane Uhuru Kenyatta, sisi tukujibu wewe mwenyewe. Why are you sending Junet? Natuma Wanga, natuma Ichungwa, nani? Si ujitokeze wewe kama ni mwanaume utukane Uhuru Kenyatta, then tutakuamkia the following day tukuambie mambo yako mingi hatujasema. We have also been decent, but if this onslaught on Uhuru Kenyatta continues, I'll have no choice now but but to address you William Ruto. Na nitakuanika sasa. Mimi nakujua sana. Si ndio? I've also been decent. Nataja tu ile ya juju. Niko na ile ya ndani. Leave President Uhuru Kenyatta alone. Stop using those young leaders to abuse our leader. Let Uhuru Kenyatta be. Let him retire in peace. And let him associate with whoever he wants. Because he's a Kenyan and he has a constitutional right. And let you not belittle him that you defeated him. It's only that he was decent. Had Uhuru Kenyatta be like me, angetuambia mambo ya hii mtu ile ya ndani, Ruto hangechaguliwa. Lakini Uhuru alikuwa muungwana. So leave him, wachana na yeye tafadhali. Let Uhuru Kenyatta be. Awachiwe nafasi ya pumzike, angalie watoto wake na wajukuu, apate heshima yake kama kiongozi wetu, because that's the right thing to do. Na tutaki tulete maneno ambaye haina haja.
So I've got a couple of questions on this one. And before I even go back to what Kenyans are talking about this clip, I gotta ask you this question. There's a statement here that you and I have to look at. Uhuru Kenyatta, achana na yeye kabisa, bibi ya Ruto, huyo kijana bibi ya Ruto. Now for those people who understand Swahili, kijana haizi kuwa bibi ya mtu. Kijana, well, you know, it might be for semantics here, because it says, unajua kijana is a general term for, you know, a young person, either male or female. It's youth. In Swahili, kijana will be youth, you know. So we would like to know, kama Ruto kona bibi kijana, how many kijana that Rigathi Gachagua is responding to here. All right, Kenyans have come out to respond to this, and this is what he's saying. Si huyu Gachagua ndio alishika kondo ya Uhuru, ama he thinks we have forgotten. Yeah, but Ondeki Lenny, for all matters, for part of this conversation, he actually apologized. If you do remember, there was a big headline on dailies across the country where Rigathi Gachagua actually did make a personal apology to one Uhuru Kenyatta. All right? But yes, atujasahau yende alishika kondo ya Uhuru. Musa saying, I missed this bwana. Okay? I missed this man bwana. Kumbe has been cooking this whole weekend. Yes, he's been cooking. And he's saying that if the abuse against Uhuru Kenyatta doesn't stop, he's going to come out and now serve us what he's been cooking the entire of this weekend. All right? Leso, lawyer, was saying this morning, Ruto kijibu hii bas, sasa ndio imeanza. Kumbali cook. I've watched this entire clip and just found myself smiling. I love somebody who intimidates Ruto like this man. All right? Finally then, the parables was, hey Kikoyus, if President Ruto takes power, you wouldn't be able to steal again. All right? Finally, and this was said in church before clergy and Buana. You know, you have to look at this, you have to look at the context of this. There is a man of God seated here. For those guys who may want to doubt whether this was said, imambo yote ilisema mbelea, the man of God. You know? The man of God there. Na kuna mambo ya bibi, huyo Ruto, no, huyo kijana mwenye anaitwa bibi ya Ruto siku hizi. In front of the man of God. And then he says, I've been decent. You know? Kama singekuwa decent, ningeongea vibaya. Bwana ushaongea vibaya mbele ya kanisa. Truthful man indeed. All right, finally then this morning on what has been trending for the entire of this weekend, Farouk Kibet has also been speaking, and is speaking about the man who this man, Rigathi Gachagua, doesn't want to be abused. Let's then look at Farouk Kibet speaking and then come and finalize these trending issues for you this morning. Let's take a look.
Bila wale wanajaribu kupanga chama ya ODM, yule retired president ambaye amepanga hawa kina Khalwale, amepanga kina Sifuna, amepanga kina Osotsi, ati baada hii uchaguzi ya William Ruto akishinda Muluya asiwe rais, tunaambia shetani ashindwe. Tunataka uongozi vile Ndakwa amesema, itoke hapo juu iteremuka hapa kwa jamii ya Waluhya, ndio Kenya iende mbele. Wewe umekuwa president ya Kenya, haukukuja hapa Malava ama mliona Uhuru hapa Malava? Mimi nauliza watu ya Malava, mlimuona yeye hapa kwenu? Hii barabara inatoka Malava kwenda Samisi, mumeona mambo ya lami karibu ifike. Hawa watu walikuwa wapi? Ile nasema, na mimi nataka kusema kwa bidii, vile ndugu yangu amesema, politics of entertainment must stop. Mtu anakuja masishi hii ambaye watu wanalia, hawezi saidia watoto hivi, hawezi saidia wachane, wamewacha family ya Jirongo in distress. Sasa na watoto wanatakana waandikwe kazi, na tunataka kutembea na nyinyi.
That's it. Issues of ODM, issues of President Uhuru Kenyatta, they're coming up here. Let me just read a couple of statements from Kenyans. Hii siasa za kugawanya Western ni mchele kwa panya. Ni korada, tunataka umoja wa maendeleo, si fitina za kupandikizwa. Kenya ni yetu wote. That is according to Brian Makana. All right. Kalonzo sio ODM, Matiang'i sio ODM. Pia Uhuru is playing what we call rules of power. They confuse the enemy and pull a surprise candidate in a 2027 June to challenge the only known one term. He's not in ODM. Matters of ODM should be left to ODM members. That's according to Amos Kutunyi this morning. Also, this comment about ODM matters should be left to ODM is from Gatumbi Francis this morning. We do have one Brian Makana who saying this morning, but truthers are right kutumia viongozi kugawanya Mount Kenya or what? All right, good. That's exactly what we have for you this morning in terms of our trends, and thank you very much for being a part and parcel of our show this morning. We are officially back for 2026, sorry, more shows to look forward to. I'll see you tomorrow for another bigger conversation. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiaga. Thank you very much for being a part and parcel of this one. Take us online and look up TV across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiaga Simba. Goodbye and good morning.